Hi everyone, I am Lindsay from thetoastedpienut.com. Today we are making a classic Thanksgiving dessert. We are making pumpkin pie. It is so creamy, so delicious, with the most amazing buttery, flaky, gluten-free crust that you've ever tasted. All right, so the first step of making this perfect pumpkin pie is we're gonna make that buttery, flaky, delicious crust. So you're gonna get a big bowl, and I have 4 tablespoons of butter. I melted it in the microwave. You want it room temperature or melted is fine because we're gonna chill it later. You could also use coconut oil or ghee, so it's really whatever you prefer. So we're gonna put this into our bowl, and then we're gonna crack 1 egg into the bowl. And then we're gonna add 1 cup of blanched almond flour. It's important to get blanched almond flour because of the color. If you get almond meal, it tends to be a little bit brown and coarser. So you want to get just almond meal that's blanched. So 1 cup going in the bowl. And then we're gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. I'm using pink Himalayan sea salt, but you can use any kind you like. All right, so now we're gonna mix it all together. You can just use a spatula and just kind of fold it, mix it, stir it, stir it up. What I love about this crust is it's not like a traditional crust where you have to really be careful about it and roll it and make it perfect. This really just forms however you leave it. It's kind of like Play-Doh, so you can really just form it with your hands and be kind of rough with it. All right, as you can see, it's kind of come together. So at this point, what we're gonna do is just chill it for 10 minutes. All right, so I already pre-chilled this pie crust, so we're gonna get this started and put it into our pie dish. So the first thing you wanna do is grab your pie dish, and what you wanna do is just get some extra butter or coconut oil or ghee and just grease the bottom and the edges so that the pie crust doesn't stick to it. All right, and now we're gonna put the pie crust into the pie dish. Just get it all in there. And then you're just gonna use your fingers to press it into the bottom. Sometimes it's easier if you dampen your hands a little bit. I usually do that a little further down the line. But you're just gonna press it into the bottom with your hands, and like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just kind of form it however you like, and it'll bake exactly like that. And like I said, you can push it, pull it, it's really malleable, and it doesn't have to stay perfect. All right, so at this point, if you wanna kind of pinch or design the edges however you want, go for it. I just kind of like to make them flat so that they're not rough. All right, so the last step of our pie crust is we're just going to use a brush to apply a little egg wash. So I mixed up 1 egg in this little bowl, and I'm just gonna use this little brush to get the edges of the pie crust and all around the bottom. So I find the egg wash is really great at holding it together. It also gives it a nice shining glow to it, so it makes it nice and pretty. So the last thing I'm going to do before I pop it in the oven is just get a fork. And I am just gonna poke like 4 or 5 holes into the crust because it will raise up a little bit, and this will just make sure that it deflates again. All right, and now we're gonna pop it in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes until it is golden brown. All right, so while the crust is baking, we're gonna get started on the pie filling. So what you're gonna do is add 1 can, which is about 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. If you wanna make your own pumpkin puree, I'm going to drop a link in the description box below telling you how to do it. And so we're just gonna put this into the bowl. All right, so next to the bowl, I'm going to add coconut cream, which gives it such a nice, silky smooth texture. If you wanna use whole milk cream or any nut milk, it'll definitely work. So we're just gonna add this to the bowl. Sometimes when you get coconut cream from a can, it needs to be melted a little bit so that it gets nice and silky smooth. So you can either just pop it in the microwave, or you can do it on the stovetop, just whisking it constantly until it gets smooth. All right, so now I'm going to add agave nectar. You could also use honey or maple syrup, and this just adds some nice sweetness. I'm also gonna add some coconut sugar. It also adds some sweetness and just low glycemic so it doesn't spike your blood sugar, which we like. All right, adding in some coconut oil. vanilla. I'm gonna crack the eggs into the bowl. So just 3 eggs right in. And now we're just gonna add the spices. So we have some pumpkin pie spice. And we're also adding some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and some sea salt. We're just gonna mix it all together. Whisk it until it's nice and combined. You don't want it to get too bubbly because you want a nice kind of dense pie. You don't want it to be too fluffy and bubbly with air bubbles. All right, so the crust has finished its first bake. So we're just gonna pour the contents of the pie filling into the crust. And I just love this pumpkin pie recipe. It's just creamy and smooth and just so decadent. It's perfect for Thanksgiving. All right, and now we're gonna pop this back in the oven for 50 to 60 minutes. All right, so I have pre-baked and chilled this pie so I could show you guys. So now we're just gonna cut into it, sprinkle it with some powdered sugar, and dig in. Oh my gosh, this is the perfect pie. The filling is just nice and creamy and delicious. Look at those layers. I'm so excited about it. We're just gonna sprinkle it with some powdered sugar and take a bite. This is Thanksgiving in a pie, you guys. So good. The crust is nice and flaky. The center is just creamy and pumpkiny and has a really nice spice to it. Make this for your Thanksgiving dessert. You will not regret it. I hope you guys make it. I hope you love it. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe because I'd love for you to be a part of my YouTube fam. I am Lindsay from thetoastedpinenut.com. You can also find me on Instagram at thetoastedpinenut, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.